Hello everyone, welcome back to YK Reviews, welcome back to another weekly entertainment news video. As we're getting some updates again when it comes to the Jurassic World movie, some interesting Marvel news when it comes to Spider-Man 4, and some first looks at the Lilo and Stitch live action movie, plus tons of other things, so let's dive right into it. Now, before we get started, again, if you are new to the channel, you do like this types of stuff, we do this every single week, talking about movie news and TV news, along with some Lego and sometimes video game news. So if you like that kind of stuff, do consider hitting that subscribe button. We are trying to reach the 400 subscriber goal, and I just released 2 reviews for Bad Batch, the first 3 episodes, along with this new series called Constellation. The first 3 episodes have been released, so I've released reviews for that. You can go check that out on the channel. And I'm going to be seeing Dune Part 2 this Sunday. So pumped and excited to be checking it out. So the review is going to be coming out for that on Monday most likely, and we'll also be reviewing the first movie as well, so you'll be seeing a couple of reviews coming out for the Dune Part 1, Dune Part 2, and March is just a stacked month. Kung Fu Panda, Imaginary, Godzilla x Kong, so lots of stuff coming your way in the month of March, so make sure you're subscribing so that you're not missing out on all of those videos. And when it comes to these weekly entertainment news videos, timestamps are going to be in the description down below, so if there's anything you're more interested in, anything you want to skip around to, timestamps will be in the description down below. I might be releasing a short once this video does come out, because there's going to be some updates when it comes to the Acme vs Coyote movie, with that being released on Friday, so definitely keep an eye out on that. We'll be seeing what Warner Brothers and what that dickhead David Zaslav is going to be doing, but we'll dive right into it straight away here, because we're going to talk about a couple of trailers. The first trailer they released this week was the Borderlands trailer. Now, I'll be completely honest with you, I've never played the video game, I have never seen any gameplay or anything like that, so I'm completely brand new to the franchise, completely disassociated with the whole franchise. I'll be completely honest with you, the trailer does look pretty fun. The cast really was intriguing when you've got Jamie Lee Curtis in there, you've got Kevin Hart in there, you've got Jack Black in there, you've even got Cate Blanchett in there, so a very unique and interesting cast that is part of this movie. But the movie does look pretty fun, the movie does look pretty entertaining. I might be checking this one out. I'm also going to be checking out the reviews, but I'll be honest, I can completely understand for those people that are fans of the video game adaptation, the video game itself, might not be a huge fans of this based on the trailer. I can definitely see a more eccentric vibes to the trailer versus what it could be when it comes to the video game, so I can completely understand. I've seen some criticisms with those hardcore players not vibing with this trailer, so I do get that part. But just me, based on like being a brand new person to this world, it definitely reminds me of a lot of like that Twisted Metal type of vibe when it comes to the TV series. Very vibrant, very colourful, very eccentric. So again, I'm definitely going to be checking this one out. But if you have seen the trailer, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Are you a fan of the video game? Have you played it? What are your thoughts on the trailer? And if you're brand new like me, do you think you'll be checking this out? Let me know down in the comment section below. Okay, now for the next trailer we've got is Boys Kill World, a movie I honestly have never heard about, wasn't even aware about this movie, but once this trailer came out, I'll be honest, this looks hella fun. The main lead is deaf and muted, so you're getting this voiceover role that's portraying throughout the whole movie, basically being the voice that's inside his head that we're actually hearing, and it's just so brilliant with the dialogue, with like the action sequence. It reminds me a lot of like the Dev Patel Monkey Man movie that's coming out in April. This one also coming out in April, so I'm really excited. Like, January, February was such a dim month for movies, but then you've got next month, March, with some stacked movies. April's looking to be a great time for movies as well, and this trailer just looks so fantastic. It's being produced by Sam Raimi and Roy Lee. Roy Lee, who is behind Strangers, who's behind Barbarian, who's behind Death Note, the live action Death Note, which I actually kind of enjoyed. So this is definitely going to be some entertaining, enjoyable, just action flick fun movie, and with Bill Skarsgård's involved in there. You've also got some other great casting here like Jessica Roth, you've got Famke Janssen, Samara Weaver in there, so I'm really looking forward to this movie. So if you have seen the trailer, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, what your thoughts are about it. Will you be checking it out? And if you haven't seen the trailer, honestly go watch it just for that voiceover role, voiceover casting that you get throughout the whole trailer. It's honestly worth a watch just for that. But let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below. Okay, now for the next couple of news story, I want to just give some shout outs, some attention to some upcoming movies that some people may not have heard of here, with the first one, with the movie being called Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. So this is coming from the Deadline, confirming here that Sam Rockwell, Haley Lou Richardson, Michael Pena, Zazie Beetz and Juno Temple to star in a Gore Verbinski's Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, with constant producing. So basically the movie is an action-adventure film which centers on a man from the future, which is going to be played by Sam Rockwell, who arrives at a diner in LA where he must recruit the precise precise combination of disgruntled Patreons, which is going to be played by the rest of the cast, to join him on a one-night 6-block quest to save the world from a terminal threat of rogue artificial intelligence. And filming is going to be set later on this year in actually South Africa. So again, not a lot of people may have heard about this, but it actually just looks like just a ton of fun, a popcorn flick where you just sit back, relax, and just enjoy the movie. It's got some interesting cast members like Juno Temple, who was in Ted Lasso, again Sam Rockwell in there, Michael Pena also being involved, so definitely a lot of some interesting cast members and a really interesting plot synopsis there. So definitely one I'm really going to be curious about, really going to be keeping my eye out on this one. So you see this and you hear this, what are your thoughts? Do you think you'll be checking it out? Do you think you'll give it a miss? Let me know down in the comment section below, because the next one I do want to bring up here is a Josh Brolin movie that he's going to be starring in. So this is coming from the Hollywood Reporter, confirming here that Josh Brolin is in talks to star in Zach Cregger's horror thriller Weapons. New Line is behind the feature that it's a follow-up from the team behind the acclaimed horror movie Barbarian. So the feature is Cregger's highly anticipated Barbarian follow-up and was to have shot last year, but the writer's strike and actor's strike caused the movie to be pushed to the initial fall of 2023 to start production. That caused a conflict with previous projects because Pedro Pascal was going to be part of this, but he's now got scheduling conflict due to the Fantastic Four shooting here, so Josh Brolin is going to be replacing him. So Cregger wrote the top secret script for Weapons, which is described as an interrelated multi-story horror epic that tonally is in vein of Magnolia, the 1999 actor-cram showcase from filmmaker Paul Thomas Anderson. And with this being like a follow-up to I really enjoyed Barbarian. I definitely think it's one that went under the radar back in 2022. A really interesting movie. I actually did a review very early on in my channel, so I'll post that somewhere here, you can check that out. And with this originally stated to be with Pedro Pascal, with Josh Brolin, who obviously plays Thanos, does a whole bunch of other stuff in there, I'm very curious now to see this movie. I'm a huge fan, again, like I mentioned, of Barbarian, huge fan of Josh Brolin. So I definitely feel like this one is also one to keep an eye out on, similar to the previous one, the Good Luck Don't Die movie that we just spoke about. This one also one to keep an eye out. So you see this and you hear this, what are your thoughts about this? Do you think you'll be checking it out? Will you give it a miss as well? Let me know down in the comment section below. Okay, now for the next upcoming movie, that's definitely one I've got my eye on here, is one starring Tom Cruise. So this one is coming from Deadline, confirming here that Tom Cruise to star in Alejandro Inarritu's next film at Warner Brothers and Legendary. Apologies if I butchered the name here, but this pretty much is big news here, because basically in the article confirming here that sources tell Deadline that Warner Brothers and Legendary Entertainment are in negotiations for an untitled Alejandro film starring Tom Cruise. The project would be his first English language pick since his 2015 smash The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio, a movie I absolutely love. It's such a great movie. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend The Revenant. A brilliant movie. So it's what, now 9 years, close to 10 years since he's making a movie within Hollywood, like an English language movie here, and having Tom Cruise be part of it. Now, we don't really know what the movie is about, so it's saying here the project is being treated as top secret, with no plot details available other than it's a new original story written by Alejandro. What is known is that the Oscar-winning director has been taking meetings with a select few actors in recent weeks, with Cruise being one of the first. The A-list star has been hungry to find the next project and moved quickly to get a meeting with Alejandro once he was made aware that the director was moving forward with his next big studio film. Basically just confirming that Tom Cruise, as soon as he found out this director was wanting to make a movie, wanting straight in and getting involved, which just goes to show the respect and the talent that both of these have. I am really excited about this, because Tom Cruise is a great talent. He does some great movies, like, of course, look at the Mission Impossible movie that just came out, Top Gun Maverick as well. So there is some really great movies there. This is one to really get excited about, unless that prick David Zaslav writes it off for tax purposes. But honestly, I'm on board. I'm on board right now. I'm ready. As soon as the trailer gets released, I'm going to be the first one watching it here. Really excited about this. So you see this and you hear this, what are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comment section below. Also, have you seen The Revenant? What are your thoughts about that movie? Let me know. Okay, now for the next news story, we have got a bit of an update when it comes to the Power Rangers reboot. Now this might be one that not many people would be interested in, but I'm a huge Power Rangers fan, and as you can see here, I'm actually working on a project when it comes to like Power Rangers, so definitely keep an eye out on that. It's going to be coming very soon. But we're getting an update because obviously the Power Rangers, like the 30 years of Power Rangers, 30 seasons of Power Rangers, all of that has come to an end, so they're doing a reboot now. So this is officially came from Mega Power Brazil, but then we've got Thea Game 10, who actually is the one that found this here, so shout out to him. So coming from officially the Weird Egg production website, confirming here that currently in an overall deal with E1 to serve as a showrunner and creator of Power Rangers as a 1-hour TV series. Now, it's not because it's basically being translated here, it's not 100% confirmation that each episode is going to be 1 hour, or if it's going to be like a 1 hour special or something like that. I'm hoping, because I'm on board with like a 1 hour episodes, but I'm also a bit hit and miss when it comes to that, because you can have a 1 hour episode, but then that might mean shorter episodes, because if you weren't aware, with Power Rangers, each season was about 40 episodes, 20 minutes, 22 minutes long, but it's a 40 episode season. Nowadays, when you get like these series, especially if it's like a longer series, you're looking at around maybe 8 to 10 episodes. The longer ones I would find is maybe like 15 to 16 episodes, but not like a long series like it was back in the day. But if it's like a 1 hour episode, then it's like, what, 15 episodes per season? I'm honestly on board with that here. I'm a huge fan of Power Rangers, like I mentioned here, and having it being like a 1 hour TV series could work for some very interesting, great action sequences, great storytelling as well, great character development. So I'm actually really on board with that. So I've been waiting for an update when it comes to the Power Rangers reboot, because we definitely aren't getting anything this year. So probably something next year, or maybe 2026, but I'm just glad we are seeing some kind of update when it comes to this. So for those of you that are Power Rangers fans, what are your thoughts about having 1 hour long episodes? Are you on board with that? Do you disagree completely with that? Let me know down in the comment section below. Okay, now for the next news story we've got is another update when it comes to the Jurassic World movie, and I feel like this is what, the third week in a row now we're getting an update when it comes to this. So if you're not aware, basically the studio is wanting to make a Jurassic World movie. They're rushing production. They're wanting to release it in July of next year. We first got the announcement that David Leitch was going to be the one directing the movie, but then the following week we found out that he actually left the project. So now we're getting an update again coming from the Hollywood Reporter, confirming here that Jurassic World director found Rogue One filmmaker Gareth Edwards. The studio was forced to conduct a speedy search after the quick coming and going of David Leitch. Now in the article, they're basically saying here that Edwards knows his ways around creature features thanks to his breakout indie Monsters and his subsequent studio debut of Godzilla, which launched the Monsterverse a decade ago here. So I feel like this director is more in line with the Jurassic World movie, because of course Godzilla, and that was an excellent movie, whereas David Leitch, who I love as a director, is more of like an action thriller type of director, whereas this is more focusing on like monsters, which is what you're going to get from the Jurassic World, Jurassic Park movies. But I'm still like not on board with this because of the way that the studio is rushing this. It really gives it like some worrying signs when it comes to this movie. They wanted to have it where it comes out next year in July, like I mentioned, so you're trying to rush as quickly as possible, and I just feel like the director's not going to get his original spin on this, and it's just going to make for like a worrying, rushed, flat movie, especially when you've got Jurassic World. So happy with the director, but worried with the studio and like what they want to do with this movie. But you see this and you hear this, are you on board with this? Are you happy with this director? Would you have preferred David Leitch? Please let me know in the comment section below. Okay, now for the next news story, we've got some updates when it comes to the live action Lilo and Stitch movie. So if you weren't aware, they are going to be making a Lilo and Stitch live action movie. I just recently watched the animated version with my son, who I introduced him to it, and I forgot how great that movie is and how emotional and touching, and just a movie that really resonates to you. So with this one, I'm actually a little bit more excited now after just watching that movie. So this is like the live set photos that we've got here. So shout out to Paulina Polaro, who posted this on TikTok. So right now you see Stitch, who honestly does look pretty great. There was a lot of worry when it comes to having Stitch. Basically this is similar to like the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, where you've got like the toy, the doll, like where you have it physically in person, and I'll post the pictures of the set photos I'm talking about when it comes to Sonic the Hedgehog 2. But you've basically got this doll right there, not a CGI animated thing whatsoever. It's like a doll. Then you work in the CGI later, rather than it just being completely CGI animated kind of stuff. So you see him looking like he's causing havoc in this car that looks so busted up and damaged here. And then we also got a look at the girl, the little girl that's going to be playing Lilo in the movie here. So we see her in the car, same car as well here. Now obviously the camera quality isn't that great, but you get to see her in the same car, and we also get to see in another set photo what looks to be like her doll in the movie. So that also looks like it's going to be part of the movie as well. So this looks like it's going to be a really fun movie, but we have to wait and see. But so far with the set photos, it gives me a little bit of hope, just because I recently just watched the animated movie like I mentioned here. But so far, I'm liking what I'm seeing with these set photos. photos. So you see this, what are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comment section below. Because speaking of the Sonic the Hedgehog movie here, we actually got an update with that movie, with Sonic the Hedgehog 3, my most anticipated movie of the year. So Ben Schwartz, who's the one that voices Sonic the Hedgehog, he actually posted this saying here, on your marks, get set, go. My Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie recording has officially begun here. And what's slightly worrying for me about this is that not the fact that they're voicing it so late, that's just a given because you do all the action sequences and then you can just add the voiceover casting, no problem there. But the fact that the voice casting like for Sonic, Tails, Knuckles are going to be doing it right now goes to show me that they might not have cast Shadow the Hedgehog. Now there was rumors going around about Hayden Christensen being the one that's going to be voicing Shadow, and I feel like if that was the case, then we might have got some kind of announcement, some kind of thing about that being the case. But with now Ben Schwartz posting this, like he posted this on February 20th, which was on a Tuesday. So realistically, I could be completely wrong, but it does not seem like Hayden Christensen will be voicing it, as much as I would love for him to be the voice casting of Shadow. I feel like it might be somebody else, just because like there's been no announcement and now they're starting the voice recording when the rumor was spilling about a couple of months ago when it comes to this. But hopefully, like I said, I am wrong about this. So you see this, what are your thoughts? Do you think that they have cast Shadow the Hedgehog? Do you think it's going to be Hayden? Do you think that they still haven't cast Shadow the Hedgehog's voice acting? Let me know in the comment section below here. But the final news story we are going to be talking about is a couple of Marvel news related stuff, because a whole bunch of stuff came out earlier this week when it comes to the Marvel stuff. So a couple of things that was talked about when it comes to like the Marvel side here. So this is coming from the Hollywood Reporter, confirming here how Marvel is quietly retooling amid the superhero fatigue. So there's a whole bunch of interesting stuff to actually talk about in the article here, which honestly, if you have time, I would recommend reading it here. But there's a couple of important things that we are going to be talking about here. So first of all, in terms of the Thunderbolts, it's saying here that Marvel has also hired Jonah Kalo, the showrunner for the acclaimed series The Bear, which honestly, I've been watching the first couple of episodes and I'm enjoying it. I've heard nothing but great things when it comes to that show, so I'm really excited to be checking out the rest of the show. Apparently, she's going to be working on the script for the Thunderbolts. The Hollywood Reporter has learned the film will begin shooting in March, so basically next month. Her hiring adds a flair of prestige to the project, which stars Florence Pugh along with a whole bunch of other cast members, and according to a source who has read the previous draft of the script, centers on villains and anti-heroes going on a mission that was supposed to end with their death. Now, my worry is that the problem that they've been having with many of the Marvel movies recently is the rewrites constantly changing as they're filming the movie. So hopefully they have got like a script in place, they've got everything ready. If they're going to begin shooting next month, hopefully it isn't like a worrying sign, but a positive sign when it comes to the person that they've actually hired. So that gives me a little bit of hope here. But then the next one that we've got here when it comes to the Marvel side of things here, it's saying that Marvel is also cleaning up the creative mess left in the wake of Jonathan Majors, the once rising actor cast to play the linchpin villain role in their next Avengers movie, but who in December was found guilty of reckless assault in the third degree and harassment in a Manhattan court after the domestic incident. Marvel dropped Majors hours after the conviction and is rewriting the movies, which will now either minimize the character or exercise him entirely. The first new Avengers movie, due out in 2026, was initially titled Avengers Kang Dynasty, but will now be getting a new title to remove the character's name, though some sources say that even Majors' conviction, the studio was making moves to minimize the character after Quantumania underperformed. Now, when it comes to the whole Jonathan Majors situation, again, I'm not just going to like talk about it or anything like that. When it comes to whether it was going to be done before the legal trouble or after the legal trouble, whether it's due to Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania or not, that's honestly neither here or there. I wasn't in the boardroom. I honestly can't confirm whether it is because of the performance of Ant-Man and the Wasp or whether it's a legal trouble or anything like that. But with them no longer calling it Kang Dynasty, it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to be naming it here, whether it's going to be Secret Wars Part 1 and then Part 2 for Secret Wars, the next Avengers movie, or how that's going to be doing it here. But when it comes to this, just recasting Kang is probably the best direction to go with. He's still a good villain. Like, Kang is a great villain to work with. You set up the Council of Kangs, so I feel like, okay, if it's not going to be called Kang Dynasty, that's completely fine, but I wouldn't just completely wipe off the whole Kang character completely. So it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to be doing and how they're going to be working when it comes to this movie, how it's going to be titled and what the plans and direction are. It feels like the next big villain might just be Doctor Doom, because even in the Deadpool 3 trailer, they did bring up the comic book Secret Wars with Doctor Doom in there. So that's more leaning towards going to be like the next big bad. But it all depends on how they set up everything. I feel like we get a better answer when it comes to the Deadpool 3 movie, because there is rumors that that's going to be setting up Secret Wars, so we'll see how they're going to be dealing with that. But you see this and you hear this, what are your thoughts? What do you think the next title is going to be? Let me know in the comment section below here. But the final aspect and the final news here we're going to be talking about is updates when it comes to Spider-Man 4, and honestly, I would say worrying updates when it comes to Spider-Man 4 here, because with the shit show that was Madam Web, Sony and Kevin Feige are kind of like in a battle, I would say, not a heated battle or anything like that, but just like a crossroads with each other, because Sony, on their side of things here, they're looking to go for a more of a multiverse movie, whereas Tom Holland and Kevin Feige want to go for like a more grounded type of movie. So you can take this with a grain of salt, because it is coming from a reliable scooper, Daniel RPK, who has been getting stuff right in the past. He's actually on a roll when it comes to like his scoops here. So this is what they're saying here, that Sony is apparently trying to rush the release of Spider-Man 4, and while Kevin Feige wants a new director for the film, Tom Rothman, who is basically the head of Sony, I think, wants John Watts back for the movie. And apparently we are going to find out who's going to be directing the Spider-Man 4 movie and the Avengers 5 movie pretty soon. So basically we're getting confirmation that if John Watts is going to be announced as the Spider-Man 4 director here, it means that Sony won and that the movie is going to be a multiverse villain. However, if somebody else is going to be announced as a director, it means that Kevin Feige and Tom Holland won and Spider-Man 4 will be a street villain. So it's just a waiting game here. Now I'm honestly behind Kevin Feige and Tom Holland. Like, I would rather have a more grounded Spider-Man, especially with the way you built up the last 3 movies here. Now granted, I was a fan of John Watts and what he did in the Spider-Man movies, especially with like No Way Home and how everything was accumulation of the past 3 movies. Although I do think that there was something missing when it comes to those Spider-Man movies. I've even like watched a couple of like different variety of Spider-Man movies, like the Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's one, along with like Tom Holland in the last couple of weeks here. And that swinging motion, especially what you get from the Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield, definitely has that missing flair when it comes to Tom Holland's movie. Again, not to say that the movies were bad, but there was definitely some things missing here. Now, I don't mind John Watts coming back as a director, but I don't want it to be a multiverse movie. Like, as much as I love Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, I really enjoyed Spider-Man No Way Home. I just don't want for the next Spider-Man movie to be a multiverse movie with them included, because you basically just disregard everything that happened in No Way Home and just completely brush aside what the spell and everything that Tom Holland's journey went through to then go for like a multiverse movie. And with Sony, I have no faith in them whatsoever. Like, I'm not even hyped for Kraven the Hunter and Venom 3 after what was done with Madam Web and Morbius and the rest of the whole shit show spin-off, whatever the hell you want to call it. So I'm genuinely worried about that. Having a grounded approach, having Kingpin as like one of the villains, having like a more grounded approach, bringing Scorpion back, I feel like is the direction to go with. Having that friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is the best direction to go with. But this is just a waiting game, and I'm genuinely really worried about this now, if what we're going to see here, because Sony only cares about money, and it's a worrying sign here. So you see this and you hear this. What are your thoughts? Which side are you on? Are you on Sony's side or are you on Kevin Feige's side? And what your thoughts are about the whole situation here, let me know in the comment section below. But that about wraps it up for this week's weekly entertainment news video. Again, tons of things we went into. Want to know your thoughts about everything down in the comment section below here. But thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Again, keep an eye out. Dune Part 2 review coming very soon, most likely on Monday, since I'm checking it out on Sunday. So keep an eye out on that, plus plenty of other things coming our way as well. So definitely keep an eye, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But thank you for watching. Thank you so much for listening. This is YK Reviews. Peace.